welcome to round 17 of the 2019 Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. My name is Jay Bohr-Staunton, and this afternoon we are live from Crosby Park, the home of Brothers Rugby Club, for their clash with Jeeps. These two sides sit in first and second on the Queensland Premier Rugby ladder and will this afternoon be playing off for the Wellesby Cup, which is contested in the back end of the season between the two sides that sat first and second on the ladder come the halfway point of the season. It's going to be an absolutely massive afternoon of footy, and with Jeeps having smashed Brothers the first time these two great clubs met earlier this year at Yoku Road, the Brethren will be baying for blood. Now remember folks, Queensland Rugby has increased the live coverage of Queensland Premier Rugby with all 4 matches streamed live and free via redsrugby.com.au. Joining me in commentary today is Brothers legend Dallin Murphy. How are you doing, Dal?
Good, mate. How are you?
Living the dream, Dal, as per usual. Mate, I've got to ask you, you've played in plenty of Brothers and Jeeps games. Describe the rivalry between these two great clubs.
Mate, it's always a really big day. It's always like a Brothers v Uni day where plenty of crowd gets down here. But I think the big thing is it's always plenty of boys who are mates that are playing against each other. So they're always trying to get the one up against each other, which is always very exciting.
Now on the other side of the field, we've got Jeeps looking very good in second position on the ladder, but they've got some absolutely massive inclusions today by way of Bryce Hegarty, Ruan Smith and Campbell Magnay. How much of a say will they have on today's result?
Oh, mate, massively. Obviously, in the front row, you've got Ruan, who brings a wealth of experience, but I think the big one today, obviously, is Bryce Hegarty. He's a smart footballer. He knows how to steer teams around the park, and he'll be instrumental for them today.
Now, for the Brethren, though, the past few weeks, they've been getting off to a sluggish start and letting sides get in the match. What have they got to do to play a full 80 minutes today?
I think it's more of a mental thing, and I talked to a few of the boys during the week, and they said the loss last week was timely, you know what I mean? Everyone was a little bit more switched on at training this week, so it's about starting strong and just being a little bit more physical and switched on from a mental perspective.
Well, you can see right there, just looking at the ladder, just how far above the competition Brothers and Jeeps are. They're absolutely killing it this season, and it's going to get super feisty here today at Crosby Park. Now, ahead of today's match, our resident sideline reporter Brendan Sauce Hertel caught up with Brothers back rower Harry Wilson. Let's see what he had to say ahead of today's game.
G'day folks, Sauce here. We're down at Brothers tonight ahead of this week's match of the round between the Gallopers and the Brethren. Here with back rower Harry Wilson. Also, you missed the first GPSV Brothers clash. How much are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, can't wait for this weekend. Obviously the boys went down the first game in the first round, but yeah, hopefully bounce back this round and get a win over them.
Now, mate, obviously the Wellesby Cup's on the line, mate. A bit of silverware. How much added incentive does that provide? Yeah, a lot. Obviously in the season you want to grab as much silverware on the way as you can, so this is another one which is up for grabs, so hopefully, yeah, we can grab it. And mate, obviously your return game from the Junior Wallabies didn't go to plan last week, going down to UQ by 1 point. What are you guys focused on in training this week?
Yeah, it was obviously a tough loss on the weekend, but we've really just worked on our kickoffs to just regain possession from them and really have a fast start. So obviously the last few games have been down a few points early, so looking to start fast this weekend.
And mate, plenty of rivalry between the two clubs, mate. Obviously it goes back a long way, but on a personal level, mate, coming up against a good mate like Tommy Kibble, does that get you fired up?
Yeah, definitely gets you fired up. Good mate Kibbo, but obviously want to get one on him this weekend and yeah, try and get a shot on him, but if not, just get the win with the boys.
All right, well, thanks, Owen Wilso. All right, folks, this week's clash between the Brothers and GPS is match of the round, so make sure you get out here to Crosby Park on Saturday afternoon. It's a late kickoff at 5 p.m. and get around the boys.
Great stuff there from Sauce and Wilso. Now, before we kick things off, as always, we've got to give a very special mention to the sponsors who support club and grassroots rugby. Brothers major sponsor Ray White Ascot and Jeeps major sponsor Height for Hire. Now, before we get into the team list, we've got to introduce Jeeps reserve grade halfback who's just joined us after knocking off the top of the table Brothers outfit. Tommy Christie, how you doing, Tommy?
Oh, better after that, Jay Bohr. If you asked me probably 10 minutes ago, I was gasping for breath, but no, it's a very tough game, and I'm suspecting the same thing in Premier Grade.
Yeah, well, if we can take anything from that fixture, that reserve grade fixture, this Premier Grade fixture is going to be an absolute belter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, two teams that have shown the most consistent form throughout, so you'd expect nothing less.
Well, let's kick things off, shall we? And we'll start it with you, Dal. We'll run through the team list and we'll knock it off with the home side, Brothers.
So in the front row today we have Tom Maloney, Matthew Fezler and Gareth Ryan. In the second row we have Bradford Cupper and Ryan Smith. And making up the back row we have Criff Tupou, Harry Wilson and Fraser McWright. In the halves today, Ruben Wall and Rowan Safloy. In the centres, Paddy James and Brian Ralston. And the three making up the back are Sam Hine, Lawson Crichton, and George Partridge.
Fantastic. Cheers for that, Dow. Now we'll kick it over to the visiting Gallopers outfit. Tommy, take us through that.
Yeah, loose here we've got Jethro Falamini, two in hooker, Miley Naguamo, Ryan Smith packing down at tight head, Twainer Tuolima locking with Dan Gorman, who's the skipper today, Tommy Kibble on the side with Matt Jekyll, Michael Richards the pencil at number 8. In the halves we've got Nigel Genya slotting in at halfback, partnering Bryce Hegarty for his first appearance with the Gallopers for about 6 or 7 years, John O'Ken on one wing, Bernard Nickel back in the centres, Campbell Magnay from the Rebels at 13, Josh Collins a speedster on 14, and Paddy Nicholson at 15.
Fantastic. Cheers for that, Tommy. Well, we've got 2 red-hot team lists right there. And I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner of a day out here. It's a bit chilly. The field is a bit sloppy underfoot, but it's very good conditions for a little bit of code out here at Crosby Park on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Now, obviously, we've got 2 teams that are absolutely stacked with stars. Gallopers have a few Reds players coming back. Brothers just last week got their under 20 stars back. But I want to ask you guys in particular, and Dal, is there anyone in particular we should keep an eye on today?
Yeah, I think at open side flanker there we've got Fraser McWright coming off an exceptional World Cup there with the Junior Wallabies. He's just going to be exceptional for them today. He's got to lead really well, and that's what he does very naturally. So it's going to be interesting for him today.
And what about you, Tommy? On the other side of the park, we've got Tommy Kibble.
Yeah, look, we've got Tommy Kibble, who's packing down at 6 today for the Premier side for Jeeps, and he's got rugby years beyond, or rugby experience beyond his years in terms of big games. So, look, he's been great for the Gallopers this year, and expecting nothing less.
Yeah, you've got 2 guys right there: Fraser McWright, the 2018 Australian under-20s Australian Player of the Year, and Tom Kibble, a player who was very unlucky to have missed out on getting a plane ticket out to Argentina. So 2 red-hot back rows there. Well, we can see here the tunnel starting to make its way out. It's finding its way into midfield. You can see just how massive that tunnel is there from the Brethren. And as we've said several times already in this broadcast, this is going to be an absolute belter of footy out here at Crosby Park, and we cannot wait. We've got a late kick-off here, kicking off at 5 o'clock, a twilight game. Nothing beats it. Now, guys, I want to ask you in particular, Dow, you haven't been in the fold this year by way of tactics or anything like that, but Brothers still play that very expansive brand of footy that they sort of lost last year but have picked it up this year.
You know, I think Rowan Saffler has probably been instrumental in that. Obviously, in addition to Rod Sybe as a head coach, he's simplified things for the boys, but Rowan directs the boys around the park really well, but gives those outside backs a little bit more freedom to bring Lawson, Crichton and those guys into the game. And obviously with the addition now of, Harry Wilson and Fraser McWright, it allows those boys to link up with those outside backs as well. Yeah,
you've got about 3 genuine playmakers all within that back line there, and you can see just how many points they rack up. 193 plus points differential, absolutely icing everybody else in the competition by about 63 odd points there. But Tommy, your boys, the Gallopers, we know just how much they really play off that set piece, and getting Ryan Smith back today is absolutely huge.
Oh yeah, look, we've had, it's no secret that our set piece has been quite dominant, but I think leading into finals in particular, we can't just rely on it. So from the perspective today, I think the boys would be pretty keen to have a bit of a gallop and shift the point of contact and move the ball around to work into the finals and have other options.
And Josh Collins on the wing there, the youngster, made his debut in Premier grade, I think, in the semi-final last year, was it?
Yeah, coaching masterstroke.
Yeah, so he's an absolute gun, and he's the fastest bloke in the competition, so it'll be interesting to see if they can unlock him. But here it is, big T-Bone Maloney leading out the Brethren through that tunnel. And Harry Wilson, one of those Australian under-20 superstars, who's making his way back into the Brethren fold. And I can assure you they're going to be pumped. As you said, Dow, last week's loss was very timely according to the boys out there, so they'll know just how much is on the line today. Not just bragging rights, not just potential to finish the season on top of the ladder, but also the Wellesby Cup. So you can see where everybody's walking there. That's the rabble heading down to that far corner to hang out at the butchery. You'll see them, but you'll damn sure hear them before you actually see them. They are an absolutely loose part of this club, and they'll be letting the Jeeps boys know they're here. And there's the man, Bryce Hegarty. Queensland Reds fly half this season, had an absolute belter of a season for the St George Queensland Reds, playing his first game for the Gallopers since 2013. He'll be getting us underway. And referee Michael Hogan just checking with the skippers to see if we're good to get underway here at Crosby Park. And it looks like we're good. And Bryce Hegarty, in his first game in 6 years for the Gallopers, gets us underway in this round 17 Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. Here at Crosby Park, brothers playing host to the Gallopers, 1 versus 2 on the table. This is going to be a big one. And Twainer Tuolima looks like he's on this pill nice and early, but brothers do well to get that back, and Wall clears that early. And Harry Wilson, dancing on this near touch line, gets monstered by the ensuing Gallopers defence, but does well to get that back infield. And heavy stuff early on here from these two high-class outfits. And Matty Jaquel reefs that ball away, and Ruan Smith takes it into contact. And Jeeps now with a great opportunity inside the brothers 22, and Bernard Nickel gets one-on-one, gets it away to Magnay, and the big red-headed centre gets a great offload away. And Jono Kent, 63 seconds into this fixture, picks himself a bit of meat in that far corner.
Mate, just some absolute physicality there, I think, from Jeeps. Obviously, defensively, were brilliant. And an excellent turnover from that man who's ever present, Matty Jaquel.
Absolutely, he's got a massive motor, Matty, great game sense, but I think it's going to be one up front. We showed there a turnover in Brothers Zone 22, and Jeeps were good enough to capitalise.
And I think that's one thing you're going to see a lot of today, a lot of turnovers. Vic Wright, Jaquel, Kibble and Co, they're going to be going absolutely bonkers all day, and only 60-odd seconds in, we've seen just that.
You'd want to be reffing then, wouldn't you, if those blokes are on the wall?
All innocent. It's going to be tough commentating, let alone reffing it. But the Gallopers showing their intent nice and early here. Up 5 points to 0 with a kick to come. Bryce Hegarty looks like he's taking over the kicking duties this weekend, and why wouldn't he? As we said, had an absolutely massive this year for the Reds. Career best form from the wandering fly half. It's good to see him back in Queensland. The Hegarty steps up, strikes it, keeps it low, but it looks like he's just shaved that one off to the right. So, Jeeps stay out, 5 points to 0, and they're setting the tone nice and early, Dow.
Yeah, most definitely that physicality right from the start. And Campbell Magnay did really well and get that excellent offload.
It'll be interesting to see what brothers do here if they're able to bounce back. We know they've started very slowly in the past few weeks. So Saifaloy gets us underway and hammers it deep to Tommy Kibble. And Genya hammers it, just looking to play field position, but doesn't find touch. And Harry Wilson goes one-on-one with his opposing number 8, the pencil. And this is good work here from brothers, just looking to work it to midfield. James steps into first receiver. But the Jeeps' defensive line was too quick, but unfortunately don't roll away there and give away that penalty. Good opportunity here for the Brethren.
Yeah, I just think that physicality, like Harry Wilson and those brothers boys, you can see aren't shying away from. I'm just that excited today to see this matchup. I think it's going to prove to be quite a good game.
And it's one thing we've seen all year, Tommy, is the Gallopers' defence. They've got some serious sting. They are very venomous with those shoulders, so they'll be looking to really put some pressure on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the premise of the attack from Jeeps is built off the back of the defence, and there's some guys in there who are really good with the initial contact, but obviously with the likes of Jaquel and Kibble with the scavengers on the ground, and with the likes of Campbell and Bernard Nickel in the centres, but hopefully we can get a few turnover balls and bring them into the game.
And this man right here, Matty Fesley, is a try-scoring machine for a hooker. He'll be looking to steer this one. But a poor line out there. Fraser McWright losing that ball there. So Brothers looking a bit rusty. And Gagnon just looks to hammer it long. Referee Michael Hogan says scrum time, but here comes the pressure test for the Brothers boys now.
Yeah, I think moving into this game, we all thought that set piece would be a big factor. Obviously not everything, but with that front row that Jeeps have got, it'll be interesting to see how the boys stand up.
Well, you can see Miley Naomo with a big grin on his face. I'm sure he knows what's in store here for the brethren. It's going to be an almighty shunt, you'd have to think. I'm sitting here with a halfback and a fly half, so I don't think we're going to get too much by way of any set piece noose or anything like that from you blokes. So leave it to me, shall we?
Let's get the ball out, eh?
Spoken like a true halfback. But as we said, it's a bit sloppy out there. They're going to be sliding around a little bit. But I don't think Jeeps seem to mind too much. Again, the grins on their face come set piece. It's almost daunting if you're the opposing front row to be able to come up against people like that.
Yeah, your grounds was really prepared the ground well for us this week, Gal. So pass on our
mate, we had the hoses out all night last night.
Well, you got to do what you got to do to win. And if that takes closing the fields down, then so be it. Ruan Smith slips there. The referee Michael Hogan just says Gareth Ryan has dropped his bind. So lucky there. It looked like it was just a slip from Ruan Smith. But Jeeps now with a good opportunity just to hammer it up towards the halfway line and build some phases from there. And one thing, Tommy, as well, is that the set piece isn't just about the scrum. Jeeps have got to kill a line out.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been well documented. We've won or pinched the most line out ball per game. So it's a premise, as I put the mocker on them, that we base our attack off. So we're on D now. Let's hopefully the boys shape up.
Well, he's made us look like a pack of chumps there. Has Miley Naomo throwing that pill long. And Brothers now with the opportunity to work it up into that red zone. But that's a great shot. John O'Kent coming from outside in. Put some pressure on Lawson Crichton. And the Gallopers defence is absolutely heaving in this opening 7 minutes. And Brothers just resorting to the pick and go just to chew up a few metres. And they're doing well here to retain possession, but an ugly pass there. Ruben Wall. Looks like it just slipped. So they're starting from scratch. Twainer to Alima coming through. Only about 3 or 4 metres offside there from Tuolima, but here comes a little bit of a stink, which you like to see.
We're all friends at the end of it.
Yeah, sorry about that one, sir, says Jethro Falemi, but you can see just how much is riding on this one, guys. This is going to be a real feisty match.
Absolutely. And walking in today, there were a few of the Brothers boys a little bit nervous, I think, which is always a good sign.
But here comes Brothers looking to go for that quick tap. Smart little play there. Stixie. Paddy James gets it up over that 10-metre line. It's not every day Harry Wilson finds an outside centre that can match him by way of height, but he finds one in. The big red-headed Campbell Magnay puts a good strong shot on the back rower. And Brothers now working up inside the Jeeps half. But this defence from the Gallopers is absolutely immense. And a good low chop there, Nickel coming in. Looks like a high shot there. Michael Hogan sees it and plays advantage to Brothers. And a few disciplinary issues creeping into this Jeeps team early on. They'll be looking to rectify that as the game wears on. But here comes the expansive play we know from Brothers. They're shut down well. Hegarty coming in. And Wilson goes straight through the middle. Not too sure why he's brought that one back, Michael Hogan, but he's seen an infringement in that ruck. But they had that penalty advantage for the high shot from Tuolima. And I want to eradicate these penalties early on, Tommy.
Yeah, definitely. Brothers sort of showed their hand there early. They had a very kickable penalty to touch there, and they tapped and went. So I think they've obviously got the clear intention of trying to run Jeeps off the park. So it'll be interesting to see what they play from here.
Well, this man here, Rowan Seifel, he's got an absolute hell of a boot on him. And you know that he can plug you down into the corners and just chew up meters any time, can't he, Dale?
Yeah, most definitely. As I said earlier on, he's been instrumental for them this year. You know what I mean? Seeing the boys around the park and the goal kicks well, and obviously got an excellent boot out of hand as well.
You can see there Dan Gorman, big cheesy grin on his face. He's a notorious chirper on the field. Loves the niggly stuff, so I'm sure you'll be seeing him chirping hard all day. And Ryan Smith puts that one down, and Johnny on the spot as per usual. It's the Mullaney Bushranger, Matty Jiquel, and Nigel Genja decides to play the meters game, and that's a good box kick. Finds a bit of acreage, but Crichton able to get back, slings it infield, and finds Sam Hine coming in off his left wing. Brothers doing well to retain that pill. Bit one off here though. Matty Fessler just takes it back into contact. A bit of a settler. Now it's Seifel, always time to hammer it. No, he doesn't. He finds Brad Kappa. Rangy second row, finds plenty of space on that far touchline, but he's brought down well by John O'Kent. This is good stuff here from Brothers, working their way up the field with ease down that far touchline. And again, another poor error. Matty Jiquel snaps that one up, and Ruan Smith gets the offload away. The pencil, Michael Richards is away. Can he get there? The pencil goes over. Try time. Richards in the corner. 10-0 Jeeps.
Yeah, great work by Matty Jiquel there. We spoke about the back row at the start of the game, being instrumental on any turnover opportunity. And as you said, J-Ball Johnny on the spot. Matty was there and able to shift the ball, which was ending in the hands of Michael Richards.
Take us through this one, Dow.
Obviously just not unlucky, but a mistake there from Harry Wilson, and ever-present Matty Jiquel. I don't know about that last pass, but Michael Richards does very, very well. You know what I mean? He used to be a sprinter before he became a rugby player. Obviously scores an excellent try.
Did he really? Well, he certainly showed it there. He showed a clean set of heels, especially with Georgie Partridge chasing you down. I'm sure he would have heard the footsteps of the big winger trundling up behind him. But this is just the start the Gallopers would have wanted, and 10-0, possibly 12, Tommy.
Yeah, look, I think it's really important to start well here, obviously, at Brothers. Very hostile as it is when Brothers venture over the Jeeps, and it takes the crowd out of the equation. So it's really important now that Jeeps exit well and continue to build on this good start.
Bryce Haggerty looking to score at a point a minute. Something I'm sure Brothers weren't expecting coming into this fixture. And he's nailed that one straight over the black dot. So he's done just that. 12 points to nil. Jeeps over Brothers. Now, before we get underway, I want to give a special mention to Jeeps, major sponsor, Height for Hire, for their long-term support of the club and grassroots rugby. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly didn't see a 12-0 lead 12 minutes into the Gallopers.
No, definitely not. I thought there was going to be a bit of a feeling out period, but, turnover footy is a really critical component of the game, and Jeeps have been good enough on that occasion to come away with some points.
And there's a massive shot. T-Bone, the skipper, putting an absolute belter on Tommy Kibble. But there's a knock-on there from Ruan Smith, so it seems to be creeping into both teams' games. It must be a little bit greasy out there, ball in hand. But Brothers probably with their best attacking opportunity in this half.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously an error there from Juan, and gives the Brothers boys an excellent opportunity to launch an attack here. Like to see them have a go, but obviously they've got to get the ball in and out of the scrum first and foremost.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ruan dropped that deliberately just to have a scrum.
Haven't been enough scrums thus far. Yeah. Well, the last time he slipped over nice and early, so he wants to prove that he's got a bit of game when it comes to scrum time.
Well, apparently when he first turned up to Jeeps and I asked what position he played, he said scrum, so there you go.
You're a weird breed out there at Yoku Road. That's for sure, Tommy. But this is their bread and butter, so I'm sure you'll see some serious pressure coming through on Ruan there. Looks like he's angling in, but good, quick, clean strike there. And Brothers with a great opportunity through. Paddy James in midfield. And Wall looking for an option, doesn't find one, but eventually does through Mick Wright, who gets the offload away. Finds his Australian under-20s partner in crime, Harry Wilson, who's brought down well. But certainly a penalty there, and Michael Hogan agrees. So it'll be interesting to see what T-Bone Maloney wants to do here, whether or not he wants to take the points or build the pressure. Looks like they're just going to take the points and work their way into this match.
Yeah, it just goes to show how critical it is to exit well. You know, Jeeps obviously came away with points, and now they're giving 3 straight back to Brothers, and Rowan will be able to keep that with his eyes closed.
You know, I think for Brothers today, when those points are on offer, you take them, you build a bit of pressure, and you exit well, and allow themselves to continue on.
Rowan Seifaloy, one of the leading point scorers in the competition. He's been an absolute get for Brothers coming up from the Shoot Shield competition, having applied his trade down there for Southern Districts.
The Brisbane State High old boy, wasn't he, in that 09 team that could have probably beaten the Wallabies?
The dream team.
No, he's part of an absolute gun area out there at State High. Guys like Matty Ika, Joel Faulkner, Matty Garland, Chris Ortea, Curtis Browning. So he's obviously got game. He has Rowan Seifaloy.
Paul Allo O'Malley packed down on that team as well. He's over in Stade Francais, so fair side.
No slouch over there either. And Rowan Seifaloy adds the extras and finally gets Brothers into this match. 12 points to 3. Jeeps over Brothers. But I think the feeling out period's over, boys. I think it's going to start to really open up.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be interesting to see what Brothers' intention off this kickoff is because typically, you know, you'd have 3 in the backfield if they identify that and try and move the ball to an edge and get Jeeps there, or if they're pretty happy with the field position game and build into the game through some continuity.
Jeeps decide to go long here, but fielded well by Ronnie Rouston. And Wilson, never afraid to put his hand up for a carry. Brothers playing quick pill, just wanting to play field position here. And Seifaloy hammers it deep, but only finds Bryce Hegarty, who's supported by the pencil and Paddy Nicholson. Nicholson gives chase, and he's taking a great catch there. And Matty Jickwell, Johnny on the spot one more time, says thank you very much and picks up that 5-pointer. He's playing a whale of the game. We're only 16 minutes in. Jeeps are killing it. 17 points to 3, kick to come.
Yeah, not sure if this is basketball or rugby at the moment. It's just sort of everything's played in the 22s. But, you know, again, you know, the exit wasn't ideal. Obviously, they got field position. But Paddy Nick, we've got no better in the air. Probably Johnny Kemp might give him a run. I won't say it to his face. But you know, great effort there by Paddy Nick. And, again, Matty Jekyll reads the play so well. He's always in and around the ball and comes up with a try.
Well, we spoke about this at the start of the broadcast down in regards to the slow starts Brothers have been having. But they've had some slow starts past 4 weeks, but 17 points in 7 minutes.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And I think this one's probably more of a credit to Jeeps than anything else. Jeeps have started exceptionally. They've played the physicality from a defensive perspective really well, got those turnovers and executed brilliantly. So, you know, Jeeps looking very, very sharp.
Aren't they? And it's amazing to think this man right here, he hasn't had to do too much besides taking shots at goal. There was so much written about Bryce Hegarty and just what impact he could have on today's match, but all he's done here is he's brought rain with this one.
Well, Paddy Nick doesn't take his eye off the ball the whole time there, so, you know, great effort there and great work by Pat. Boy from Quilpie.
And that's a ripper of a catch there, Paddy Nicholson. And it's that man, Matty Well, he seems to be everywhere. You'd have to think he wears that orange headgear because otherwise people would think there's 2 of him on the field. He gets more than that much. He's an absolute freak and got a massive motor, does, in the Laney Bushranger.
Just not sure if you saw that there. It looks like Ruben Walls just left the field. It could be mistaken, but looks like he might have a cut or a blood bin.
Yeah, right. It's tough. I think that brings Isaac Tarabay onto the field, reserve grade halfback.
Seifaloy again decides to go long. Finds Kibble, who puts that one down. I think he was having a quick little look at the incoming
Definitely
Brothers
basketball.
defensive line. But there it is right there. Tarabay's on the field. 18 minutes into this USEP Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup fixture. So he might look like he's going to be playing a long amount of footy here today, if it is. A long stint to the sidelines there for Ruben Wall, but Michael Hogan brings us back for this scrum here. And it's going to be a big one here, Tommy.
Yeah, definitely. I think both teams have been pretty disappointed with their handling so far, you know, and obviously a later game there might be a bit of due about, and with the state of the field, with a bit of dirt as well, might make handling a little bit harder than what it typically would be. But these are the two best teams in the competition. You probably expect those basic skills to probably be a little bit sharper. So hopefully, or as you said, Jay, all the testing out period's over. We've now got to see a bit of footy played.
And you can see there Michael Hogan just has a quick yarn to the front rowers. Just saying keep it nice and straight. He saw in the last one it was angled in a bit. But you can expect a huge shunt here coming through from the Gallopers. The brothers do well to hold them out. And that man again, Stixie, Paddy James, just takes it straight off the scrum. And brothers looking to build phases coming in to this red zone where they haven't spent too much time here today. And you've got to hold on to the pill.
Release that, James.
Tarabay finds Crichton, who steps in that first receivable role. Nearly gets to the outside of John O'Kent. There's a strong shot there. Gorman shooting up. Another good shot there to Alima. He's leading the charge here today. He's the Sunnybank man. Come, Jeeps. Second rower. Brothers just looking to use all the width of the field here down that far side. The pick and go looks like it's the option. And this is good, strong stuff here from both sides. Brothers retaining possession well. Tarabay decides to get that ball out, and Paddy James goes through. Try time, Paddy James. There's the 2 sevens going at it. But it's a high-scoring affair thus far, lads.
And some good patient footy there from brothers, you know what I mean? Didn't release the ball too early, got some good pay out of some pick and drives.
Yeah, really. Oh, sorry, Dale. No, really interesting there. Brothers show their intentions, not being intimidated by this Jeeps pack. They played to width, but playing off 9 there, which is not traditional for a brothers side. They like to play with a bit of width, and then the patience and the build-up that they had there opened up the door for Paddy James.
Yeah, Tuolima just found out there, one-on-one with Paddy James. Just burnt him for gas a little bit, did James, but you hit the nail on the head. That's a brothers outfit that isn't afraid to go toe-to-toe in the tight stuff with the Gallopers. Yeah,
definitely. I think today it's a bit of shadow boxing for the big dance in 2 weeks' time where the result is quite significant. So, although it's important to win today and great to take a bit of confidence into it, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few variations of how both teams are going to play.
As the sun begins to set here at Crosby Park, it is a twilight fixture. So they'll be playing under the lights here. Cypherloy looking to add the extras to bring it in to a 9-point game. And it looks like he shanked that one off to the left a little bit there, so the lead remains 11 points. Now, as always, we have to give a special mention to Ray White Ascot, the major sponsor of Brothers, for their long-term support of the club and grassroots rugby. The Brothers now Jeeps taking their time to come back into play here. So whether or not they're gassed a little bit after that defensive pressure will remain to be seen. But Hegarty gets us underway once again. And that's a booming kickoff. That's fielded well by the youngster, Ronnie Rouston. And Brothers marching their way up outside the 22. And Cypherloy decides to hammer it along once again, but again just finds Bryce Hegarty, again supported by Richards and Paddy Nicholson. Can he do it all again? Not this time it seems, but looks like the pill was spilled, so this will be a scrum feed to the Gallopers and a great opportunity here for the boys in the green and blue.
Well, probably the first time that the ball's been anywhere but in the 22, so interesting to see what starter play Jeeps run at Brothers here.
Yeah, they haven't really had to build too many phases for the Gallopers, so they've been scoring.
Well, nor Brothers really in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they go here if they want to play it nice and tight, as we know that they can do. But soggy underfoot, so it'll be interesting to see as well if they try to kick this in nice and tight.
Great scrum there by Brothers.
Good scrum there by Jeeps. Paddy Nicholson sticks it under his wing, gets it back into Genya. Jono Kent goes through. Is he there? Unfortunately, he's not, but he's able to get that back after spilling it. Genya with a tip-on play. Held up. That's good stuff there from Jeeps, and isn't that looking good?
And I think today they're showing that, like we made the point earlier on, obviously set pieces is a big part, but they're playing some really, really good footy. They're hitting high lines really well, getting in behind Brothers' attack and doing an excellent job at executing.
Doing it brothers on brothers, really, isn't it? Yeah, same whole support. Great hands there by Jono, just to hang on to that. I thought he lost that for all money.
He's done very well.
Smart little tip on there from Hegarty to find Tualima, but unfortunately it was held up. But I think they'll be backing themselves in here, will the Gallopers.
Yeah, I don't think this ball will be going too far, to be honest with you.
Well, you are the reserve grade halfback, Tommy, so I think if anyone's going to know, it's probably yourself.
Seen a bit of it on Tuesday and Thursday night. My pad holding technique has improved significantly this year.
You can see the pressure coming through now. Speaking of Freddie Burke recently, he says it's all about that pressure. Usually the first 2 or 3, they just want to feel them out, but then it's in that back end of the half that they really start to fire up. So I think you're definitely going to see it start to come to the fore in the next 15 odd minutes.
What would Brothers be doing with Criff if Wood was right down? Would he be fresh, or would he be starting and they bring Wood on? Or?
Wood it be in the row? So that when they played last week, Woody started in the row and Bradford Cooper dropped to a fresh bench.
Okay.
So I think Crifford's probably stay at 6 and Woody be in the row.
So that would have been quite handy today, obviously having a freshie.
Yeah, most definitely.
And there's the pressure coming through, but it looks like it's gone down, so again you're forced to get that out. Magnay picks that up on the hip. Does well to pull that in. Jeeps playing it tight here, but Mick Wright's all over that. Making a nuisance of himself, but Hegarty puts that on the toe and he's found Johnny.
Oh my God.
Jono Kent gets that back, and Paddy Nicholson, too easy, picks that up. And that's another try to the Gallopers.
Yeah, that's great awareness there by Bryce, but also Jono holding width to create that opportunity. And, Paddy Nick was good enough to read the situation and get in behind for the tap back. So, fantastic try there by Jeeps.
And he hit the nail on the head before in regards to Jono Kent being great in the air. You've seen it right there. He's a former leaguey.
He is. No, he spent time with the Canberra Raiders straight after school. Yeah.
So he's no slouch in the air. He's Jono Kent.
It's just great awareness from Bryce, though. You know what I mean? Obviously, isolate that outside back and just brilliant interplay between the two of them.
Yeah, definitely. Having a guy like Bryce coming back, adds a whole new dimension to the game as well. And he would have identified that early, and the boys were really good to find their shape and positioning off him.
And Jeeps are playing really good footy when their backs are really starting to fire. They don't rely on them too heavily.
Well, definitely that scrum. It went down. They had to play off it, and Fraser McWright tried his guts out there to slow the ball up. And I think the game plan for Jeeps is to get the ball away from Fraser, and there's no better way to kick it away from him.
But they're deadly across the entire park there. We know how good their forward pack is there, but their back line is having an absolute whale of a game in this opening half an hour or so. And Hegarty again from the sideline, too easy, absolutely snots that one and takes it out. 26 points to 8. Jeeps over Brothers here at Crosby Park. Not a score line many would have predicted, but it's happening.
Let's see if they can exit now. So that's a challenge. Scoring points isn't a problem, but preventing them has proved to be a bit of an issue for Jeeps so far this half.
Cyphaloy again hammers that one deep and finds Tommy Kibble on the hop, who's not afraid to just tuck it under the wing and go straight into contact. It does well in that second effort to Genya. A little bit more room, but unfortunately charged down, but gets that ball back. Here's Miley Naomo. So he'll try again, will Nigel Genya. No, he doesn't. Gets it into Bryce Haggerty's hands, who decides to hammer it long himself. But plenty of Brothers players back there.
Rubes is back on, Ruben Wall's back on at 9.
Yeah, looks like he's got that head strapped up. So had a bit of clout early on, and there's a great little ball there. Ronnie Ralston finds Brad Kappa on this near touch line. And this is good work here from the Brethren, marching up the field well. And it looks like that ball's gone backwards, but still turned over, and the pencil gets that. Haggerty decides to put it on the toe, and he's found a bit of acreage back there. But plenty of blokes in butcher stripes making their way back. And Crichton sees some space, decides to hammer it down into the Gallopers 22. And Haggerty's got time. And finds touch accordingly.
Probably the longest passage of play we've had so far. So I thought it was quite good there. Obviously, Jeep shifting the ball, probably not getting the purchase on the kicks that they would have liked, but Brothers still showing their intent to take them on up front.
As we see Matty Fezler, ball in hand. It's an important throw for the youngster. Line out's been a bit off, but they find Mick right there, and again the lift. Not doing too well and putting undue pressure there on Ruben Wall, who gets wrapped up. And referee Michael Hogan says that's a turnover. That's a massive play there from the Gallopers.
Yeah, not great delivery there, obviously, but I thought Ruben did initially really well to hang on to the ball in the first place, but obviously being held up, goes to scrum to Jeep, so it'll be interesting to see if they look to run to exit or if they're quite content with the field position. Yeah, what's Lawson Crichton's story? Where's he come from?
So it's his third year at the club. Came across 3 years ago from North. He's a North junior, but obviously got a really, really big rugby league background.
Yep.
And finding his way at 15. Plays a bit of 10 as well and does a good job up there.
Yeah, he's a gun youngster for the future, is Lawson Crichton. He was a part of the Aussie Under-20s fold last year. And Michael Hogan calls the penalty against Brothers there. Just saying, big man T-Bone Maloney coming on the angle. If he didn't get him for that, he would have got him from knees on the ground. So that scrum ascendancy seems to be starting to come to the fore a little bit there for the Gallopers. And they've certainly got the tails up here to the boys from Yokel Road. And that looks like Ryan Smith's been able to get his arm in there, and he's done well, has the big man, wrapping up Dan Gorman. And that's great work there from the Brethren to snuff out that attack. Line-out's been a bit dusty thus far in this opening half for the Brethren, so they'll be wanting to make sure they nail this one. And that's ugly once again from Brothers. Ruben Wall unable to get back. Saifaloy able to retain that pill. A bit scrappy here from Brothers, looking to come their way out of their own 22. And Matty Jaquel putting some pressure on there, but Saifaloy able to get that one deep up towards the halfway line, and that's a great clearing kick from the Brothers fly half.
Yeah, absolutely. The breakdown we said at the start of the show is going to be quite competitive, and it's been quite sloppy for the Nines. That's probably why we haven't seen much continuity there so far.
Quick line out, finds Richards in the middle. Magnay up towards the half. Nickel dancing his way up towards halfway. The Gallopers looking to build the phases here. Magnay once again for the second time in this passage of play, getting his hands on the ball, but he's joined by a few of his teammates. Does well to get up towards the halfway. And Jono Kent looks like he's got a bit of a sniff. He comes through, and here comes Richards. Gets the offload away, and Matty Jaquel unable to get the offload away there. And there's the turnover. That man right there, Fraser McWright, does what Fraser McWright does best.
He's been hunting for him. He's been in and never present there, and obviously trying to slow the breakdown down. He's been looking for that all day. So he's done very, very well there, and it's quite good defence by the Bulls.
Well, he's already got 10 turnovers for the year, not including that one in only 5 games, so that's actually pretty low numbers for Fraser McWright. Averages typically 3 or 4. He's an absolute freak over the ball, so...
He'll enjoy that one on Matty Jaquel as well. He probably would have let him know it as well. He was able to slow that ball up on him.
But with just a shade under 5 minutes to go in this first half, Brothers looking to pick up some points and work their way back into this match and reduce this 18-point Gallopers lead. Cypherloy just looking like he's out of place a little bit because this pressure coming through from the Gallopers is immense. Kappa with the settler. Brothers looking to play with a bit more width now, but an ugly pass there from Paddy James, but penalty advantage nonetheless, and that's a pressure reliever. But they're just looking off the pace there, Dal.
Yeah, they are a little bit, and I think it's a credit to Jeeps' defence. They're getting off the line really. Their physicality's still there 36 minutes into the game, and I think Brothers are a little bit lost and running out of a few options. I'd like to see them play the ball a little bit further down the pack, you know what I mean? Kick in behind them and kind of back their line out and try and get Jeeps to play out of their own half.
So, grounded with this line out here, Dave, obviously being the quarterback, seen a fair bit. What would you be looking at running here? Would you be calling a full line out, or would you short line out with 4 runners in the back line?
I'd probably love to see a bit of a 5-man, you know what I mean? Crash the boys up midfield, then get around the corner, get a bit of continuity, and just be really patient with our pill.
Well, it looks like they've heard you there, Dow, as they go for the 4-man option. Fessler finds Wilson. Cypher finds Tupou in midfield, but he's chopped low.
You're not mic'd up with Sybie, are you, Dow?
Tommy Kibble, like an absolute harpoon, chops the legs out of Tupou.
Slow ball again, though,
And again, just looking very scrappy here are the Brethren. They're their own worst enemy with ball in hand and having to work their way upfield. But in a great position again. And having to start from scratch as Wilson steps into halfback. Finds his partner in crime, Mick Wright.
Is this where you're talking about you like to see them playing behind a bit, Dow? Like
yeah, I think
going sideways?
Do a little bit different here. Like start to play behind or put a bomb up and, just shift the point of attack a little bit better.
Well, they just shifted the point of attack to Stixie, who got absolutely lit up in midfield, so they might not do that again anytime soon.
At the moment, because the ball is so slow, like you made the point before, Tommy, they're just getting teed off on and then pushing passes like that.
And they're just off the pace there. Lawson Crichton about half a metre too early for that pill. Very scrappy stuff here from the ladder leading Brothers outfit, but with 90 seconds to go in this half, Jeeps with a great opportunity to work their way out of their own half and potentially pick up more points to extend this 18-point lead. Genya with the feed. Jeeps working their way up and around. Michael Hogan says play on, and there goes the pencil straight through the middle. Decides to drop it on the toe. Crichton turns to give chase. But it's the diminutive halfback, Reuben Wall, finds a way to get back. And Jeeps is finding too many easy metres coming up the field. And Brothers now just looking to go for that pick and go. But they've turned that over. Jono Kent gets in like a thief in the night, gets that ball back. So one more opportunity here for the Gallopers. And Josh Collins, you're not stopping him, the fastest man in Premier Rugby, right in front of the butchery. He shut them up. And that's another 5-pointer. Josh Collins says shush to the butchery.
Credit to the Jeep side. They've just been very dominant. I mean, that physicality. Ball goes into that ruck and, nearly 20 or 30% of the time it comes back with Jeeps. The boys doing very well to turn that ball over, and their physicality has just been sensational.
You probably see Brothers' method behind that. I think they're probably trying to slow it down and play the half out and just kick it out. But you've got to make sure that you're winning the breakdown and winning the contact if you're going to do that. And the likes of Jeeps being able to turn the ball off and then play off it. Transition's such a big part of the game, and Jeeps in this instance were good enough. And when you've got a guy like Josh Collins with acres of space, get the ball in his hand.
A good smart play here, Magnay. Could have just heard Josh Collins coming up. There's no way you're not giving him the pill. Look at that, the butchery looking so dejected. Body language is shocking from the boys in the butchery there now.
Yeah, it's not a happy place down there at the moment, mate.
Nothing wrong with that, J-Ball.
I can't see Marley.
I was about to say, where's Simon Marley?
Yeah, well, I can't see him.
Get him in the mix. I'm sure he'll pick things up a little bit. And Hegarty just skews that one off to the left. But that sees us round out the first half of this round 17 Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup fixture between the top of the table Brothers against the second place Gallopers outfit. And the Jeeps are up 31 points to 8. And Tommy, absolutely massive half of the Gallopers.
Yeah, look, quite surprising to be honest with you. I didn't think there'd be that many points scored. But look, it's obviously a great half for Jeeps, but that half's done and dusted now. It's really going to show the character from both teams coming forward, for the next half. Jeeps particularly want to probably not let Brothers into the game and shut up shop, keep playing them. But, Brothers, they're a great side, and as Dow's alluded to, they haven't probably played a full 80, so Jeeps boys are probably well aware there's points on this Brothers side, and they've got to stay on for the second half.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you, Dow, as we've seen over the past few weeks, Brothers either snatching it from the fire on this last weekend, not getting the buddy confection right at the end, but they've got a big second half in them. Do you think Sybe's just going to settle the nerves a bit and give them a bit of a rev up again? Yeah,
most definitely. I think that's the only thing you can really do. Obviously 31-8 down, it's start again, get a bit more consistency with their game and a little bit more continuity.
Well, it's going to be an absolutely massive second half here when you've got guys like that man on camera, Mitch King and Jordan Lanax sitting on the bench for the Gallopers. But we're going to take a quick break. Don't go too far as we kick off the second half in this Queensland Premier Rugby fixture between Brothers and Jeeps. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Crosby Park, the home of Brothers Rugby Club, as they roll out the red carpet to the visiting boys from Ashgrove Jeeps. Guys, we've seen an absolute belter of a game right here. The Gallopers coming out to a massive lead, but we're going to go around to all the other Queensland Premier Rugby fixtures that have all wrapped up this afternoon, because we are playing a twilight fixture here. So we had some big matches. We had one going on just down the road, Norths versus Bond down in that bottom left-hand corner. And it looks like the boys from the Gold Coast eventually came away with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any shock there. Obviously, Bond are still in that hunt for that final, 2 final spots. So it's quite impressive.
And then the top right there, Sunnybank versus East. 2 very close rivals. They don't like each other, but Sunnybank have been looking really good and very promising over the past 6 weeks, but unable to get one up over the Tigers, who are looking pretty good coming into finals, Tommy.
Yeah, definitely. I think East have got a lot to play for. Sunnybank's got a bit of pride, but emotion can only probably take you so far in that aspect. Like Sunnybank were very impressive against us last week, but I think the lure of finals and the possibility of missing out has seen East get over the line there.
And after 5 close losses in a row, the Doggies have now picked up 2 wins, 2 bonus point wins it seems. 43 points to 31 over Souths, who may have done themselves in regards to that finals race, but looks like the Doggies have spoiled Old Boys Day out there at Chipsywood Oval.
Why are you smiling so much, mate?
What are you talking about? I'm impartial here, Dal.
Mate, we're Sweden here, aren't we? We're neutral Switzerland, aren't we? We're neutral.
Yes. Now I'm all shy. But no, look, the Doggies have done everything they needed to do to give themselves an opportunity. They've got the bye next weekend, so they do need results to go their way.
So they'll jump UQ now, won't they, because of for and against, correct?
They will. They've got the 3rd best for and against in the competition, 100-plus points, for a team that at one stage only 2 weeks ago was coming 3rd last. But that means Uni next week. You've got to get the chocolates
against
Jeeps. So it's going to be a close one. You can't help but think Tigers have done everything they need to do. Souths probably not looking too good. And the Doggies have put themselves in a good position. But let's get back here to Crosby Park, because we've got an absolute belter of a game on our hands here. 31 points to 8. The Gallopers up over Brothers, mind you. But I think it's a scoreline a lot of us weren't predicting, Dal.
Yeah, most definitely. I thought it'd be a lot closer, and to Jeeps' credit, they've played very, very, very well today. They've come out and their physicality has just been unreal.
And what do you think they're going to be asking him in that huddle there, Tommy? We know Elvie's a feisty fella, and it looks like he's given a rev up, even though they're up.
Yeah,
23 odd points.
I think the most important thing here is not being complacent. Complacency's a killer here, and obviously the Wellesby Cup's on the line, which would be great to win, but also I think a bit of a psychological advantage leading into the semi-final in 2 weeks' time. The Jeeps have got the capacity now to finish minor premiers if they continue on with this, and although that's not the entire motivation will be putting in a second half that's equal to the first.
And for you, Dow, we know Saibi's a pretty cool customer when it comes to stuff like this, but do you think he might be giving the boys a bit of a rev up?
Yeah, I think he has to be. I think he'll be very, very direct in his approach, and we certainly get into the boys because, to be honest, they probably didn't, or they definitely weren't up to that physicality that the Jeeps brought.
Yeah, it's been a very spiteful opening 40 minutes here at Crosby Park. The Gallopers defence has had some serious sting in it, and you can see how much this means to the boys out there. And when you've got guys like that man right there, number 18, Freddie Burke, coming on to the track, wowee, you've got some firepower on the bench.
Dal, being a 10, obviously, what would you be looking at to do in the second half? Would you be using the ball along the ground? Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more dewier and slippery as opposed to a dry day game.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said before, I think the boys got to start to have a look at a few different options rather than just kind of banging it off and up with that one-out stuff. I'd be looking to use the ball a little bit more and off the feet, and whether it's a grabber or to kick in behind, just kind of question the defensive line a little bit more from Jeeps.
Yep.
Well, I think the Gallopers' defence has done well to nullify the width with which Brothers typically like to play. But there's still another 40 minutes to go here in this round 17 Queensland Premier Rugby fixture. You can expect some fireworks as Brothers get us underway here at Crosby Park. And that man, once again, Tommy Kibble, looking like the head on a stick. Marty Lang charging into the defensive line.
It's like the first carry in State of Origin, isn't it?
Wow-wee. He copped a shot there, but I'm sure the young man will get straight back up again. But here's a great opportunity here. Harry Wilson, you know, he's going straight and hard, and he gets upended, but just keeps going. Bernard Nickel looking like he was about to give him a suplex there.
Jeez.
And I think it's fair to assume the Jeeps are up for this one again.
Freddie Burke on the field for Jeeps.
And not rolling away. Penalty advantage here for Brothers. They'll be looking to start capitalising on their good opportunities.
One out.
And one out there, as you said, Tommy Ryan Smith.
We see in 22 there, Josh Flukes come onto the wing, I think, for Brothers.
And there's a great line there. Lewis Crichton out himself, and here comes Sam Hine. Flings it back infield. The man with no number, Reuben Wall, gets that back in. And Paddy James does well to wrangle that one. A great opportunity here. Brad Kappa tucks it under the wing and goes for gold. Doesn't get there. There's still a great opportunity here for the Brethren. They got the penalty advantage. Fraser McWright wrestles his way out. Good offload there. Byron Ralston. That's a great shot there from Kibble.
Wouldn't be surprised to tap and go here. Brothers got a bit of momentum in behind them now.
Well, they're playing a little bit more of an upbeat tempo, are the Brethren.
Gee, what an opening there, boys. That was pretty physical.
And there it is, the butchery. A new initiative this year started by Simon Marley. You don't know Simon Marley.
You've heard him.
Bloke sounds like Darren Lockyer. Or you find him on Brunswick Street. Either or, you'll spot him from a mile away. Husky voice.
Heard
but
before
he absolutely
seen.
loves the butchery, doesn't he? Sits in that trailer turned bar with
House.
Camillo Guido and hands out the tennies to the boys. But I think the butchery got to find a little bit of a voice here if they can pick up a little bit of meat. But that's a scrappy scrum there. Referee Michael Hogan says penalty. It's not every day. Michael Hogan is a braver man than me, getting in the middle of Criff Tupou and Matty Jaquel. No thanks. And here it comes, handbags at dawn. It's all a bit of push and shoving. You can hear the butchery absolutely going off in the background. And Brothers, again, chancing their arm. They saw some serious pressure in that last run, looking to go for it, Dow.
Yeah, it's interesting. As Tommy made the point before, I'd probably just keep trying to get the ball a bit more up-tempo, tap and go, and try and find that space. Let's see how they go.
You can hear Michael Hogan there just having a quick chat too. T-Bone Maloney just saying the last scrum was good, but it started to wheel. Wall in that fresh 2XL looking jersey with the feed. Finds Cyfloy. Great unders line there from Paddy James. And Smith looks to have turned that ball over, but referee Michael Hogan once again blows the penalty in favour of the Brethren. Magnay, hands on the ground there.
See a line out coming up here, I'd suspect, off an edge.
I think you did well to get that one after their turnover, okay? Scrum. Yeah. Scrum.
No, scrum time. T-Bone backs himself in here.
What do I know?
Clearly nothing, Tommy.
I could have told you that.
Going toe to toe here. It's good to see.
Well, they're certainly up for it, Brethren. It's been a very close match when it comes to the set piece. In the opening half, not too much one way or the other.
Clearly all over 18 there, Dow.
Absolutely, mate.
Wall with the feed once again.
Ooh.
And there comes some serious pressure coming through from the Gallopers. And Michael Hogan said it's just collapsed on the far side, so they're going to have to pack that one again. Can't help but think T-Bone, after seeing that one, might be thinking he hasn't picked the wiser choice in going for the scrum. But he's been a big inclusion, hasn't Big T-Bone Maloney coming back, Panasonic Wild Knights as well as down in the Melbourne Rebels.
Yeah, mate, his leadership, both on and off the field has been instrumental down here this year. He's obviously very good culturally, but on the field brings a wealth of experience, and he's really brought the boys together.
As a starter here, Dow, what would you be looking at running? Would you be looking to come back to your pack or play wide to an edge or play 12 straight up?
Yeah, I think you've got to come back to your pack a little bit, play something nice and short, but a bit of deception at the line.
There's a heavy shunt. Gareth Ryan putting some serious pressure on Freddie Burke. And Hine coming in off that blind wing. Gets within a couple metres of the try line. And Michael Hogan gets down on all fours. He's digging in there as the referee. And he's called that held up. Great effort there from Brothers. They're looking really good.
And they've certainly come out with a bit of a spring in their step, and as you said, obviously Rod Side probably gave him a bit of a rocket and said, if you're going to win this game, you've got to kind of step it up and bring that intensity. It's surprising, like, J-Boy, you look at the scrum, and obviously in that first set, obviously Freddie Burke comes into the field, but Brothers is starting a bit of ascendancy here.
Yeah, Dan Gorman's down and back play too, just experience there of Dan, just slowing the game up. I'm sure he's injured though.
But I always find it amazing how that scrum kind of turns.
Yep.
Well, I think it's safe to assume if anybody can rectify scrum issues, it is Freddie Burke and Ruan Smith. So I don't think they'd be too concerned. But 7 minutes into this second half, and we've certainly got a match on our hands. Brothers really taking it to the Gallopers. But while we've got a break, we want to give a special thank you to Newstead Brewing Co., the competition naming rights partner for 2019, for their ongoing support of grassroots rugby in Queensland. There you can see it's a massive crowd out here today. Not only is the Wellesley Cup on the line, 1 versus 2 on the ladder, we've also got Old Boys Day out here at Crosby Park. So there's a fair few old heads getting around up on the hill back there. It's an absolute sellout, so I think it's really getting rowdy as we come up towards 6 p.m. this evening. As the sun goes down, things really start to get loose out here at Crosby Park. Gorman's still down in back play.
Same philosophy, Dow. You reckon carry 12 up short here, or because they've chanced their arm a fair bit there? And
yeah, I still think they need to be patient, you know what I mean? There's still 33 minutes to go in the game. Go in nice and short, get around the corner. And the boys have showed a bit of pace, especially in that first half when they scored that first try in and around that ruck. So just be patient and bide their time, and I think they'll get some pay from it.
Would you suspect maybe on the second phase there, they've looked to carry off 9 a lot there, maybe play out the back of those forwards coming through to hold that initial D, or what would you do?
I think eventually they'll maybe a few, 2 or 3 around that corner and then release that ball out the back and have a little ride.
We're underway once again. Wall with the feed. The penalty advantage once again going towards the Brothers. You can see Paddy James looking to get that ball go early. Fraser McWright looks like he might be doing just that. And he does. And he burrows low. Does the number 7. Brothers now looking to play tight. Still have that penalty advantage. And that's try time. Brothers. It's taken them 8 minutes to open up the scoring in this second half, but they've done it. And that's some hard grafting footy. And it looks like Brothers are working their way back into this match. 31 points to 13.
Well, they certainly look like a different side. Nigel Guinea does really well. They wrap Ruben Wall up, but the boys show some patience here and some quick thinking by Fraser McWright. Gets a little pay off the tap.
Should have said that then. 8 minutes ago.
And then I'm not sure who scores. I think it's Gareth Ryan. Burrows his way over and finds the line.
Yeah, it's just back-to-back penalties there by Jeeps. You know, like obviously on your line you're going to defend with your life on it, and a couple of inaccuracies has cost them there, and it's just continued to build up the pressure. So you know, I think the benefit from this is that they get field position straight away, and kick-offs so far have proven to be pretty tricky for both teams to exit from.
Well, Cypherloy now with the opportunity to add the extras, and he can't help but think any points on offer today need to be taken as things start to wind down. Coming into the back end of this half, every point is going to be worth its weight in gold. Cypherloy steps up and adds those extras with ease, and that sees it brought into a 16-point ball game. And we've certainly got a game on our hands here, 49.5 minutes in to this round 17 fixture here at Crosby Park.
As you said before, Tommy, like it's obviously imperative now that Brothers exit very well and play the ball down the other end. Otherwise, Jeeps will have a great opportunity.
Hegarty gets us underway once again and opts to go short here. Josh Collins just slips. Wilson hit hard by Dan Gorman. They both get back up pretty quickly, and Brothers now looking to play with a bit of width deep in their own half. Tupou finds a bit of space.
Great carry.
Unable to get the offload away, but still good front foot ball. Brad Kappa goes hard into the defensive line, but he gets picked up and driven back by Jiquel and Smith. Brothers now retaining possession well, really looking to start building those phases.
Good hands by Sam High.
Absolutely.
Does well, does the big left winger. Again, great hands there from Ryan Smith as well. Gets that one. In from behind. Cypherloy decides to put that one on the toe.
No chase though.
Yeah.
Hegarty fields that one pretty easily, does. The Queensland Reds fly half. Genya decides to play territory, but it's an ugly kick. And Ruben Wall finds Lawson Crichton, who goes straight up through the middle. But that's a great covering tackle there from Tom Kibble. Young number 6 is playing out of his skin in this opening 51 minutes. And Ryan with the ball play. And here we go, Bryce Hegarty snaps that one up. Hine giving chase. Lawson Crichton tracking back as well, and Hine dives, but unfortunately can't get him. And Bryce Hegarty runs 60 metres and he scores for Jeeps to take that lead out once again.
Yeah, look, I think that's built off the back of the defence there. Obviously, Brothers got a bit of ascendancy and fractured the line there of Jeeps, but what they did really well off that line break or initial line break is they held their width. You know, it's really easy for a defensive team to get narrow, so Bryce has held width there, defended the space and bought the opportunity.
Yeah, he did. He read it very well there. It's a shame, though. I think Brothers were playing quite well and showed some good ascendancy.
Definitely.
Getting a little pay from their runs.
Definitely. You know, you catch pass there. You know, Bryce has got a 2-on-1. You know, it's in the attack's favour, definitely. Yeah. So, opportunities there. It's just the skill execution at the end.
And it's it's been the recipe of the day, really, is just that skill execution, and also we've just seen so many people, Johnny, on the spot picking up those opportunities, and Jeeps seem to be doing it better than Brothers at the moment.
Yeah, I think the big thing is scoring back-to-back points, whether it's a penalty or a try or whatever it is, and that's something obviously that Jeeps has done, hence is why they're leading by 20-odd points at the moment. So for Brothers there, I think they're going to have the mindset, yes, they need to score points, but it needs to be consistently, can't be tit for tat.
And you can't help but think like that play just there, it really hurts Brothers, and it's going to be difficult for them to kind of push through in the last 27 minutes of this game.
Well, it's probably a 14-point turnaround, as you said, Tommy. That would have been a 2-on-1 in favour of the Gallopers, and semi-high and that far out with that much space. You back him in every day of the week, but that man converts his own try, And Bryce Hegarty takes it out. Once again, a 23-point lead in favour of the Gallopers. So they are just racking up those points. And the body language of the Brethren not looking too good at the moment. They'll be looking to hit back nice and early. And Seifaloy gets us underway once again. Decides to keep that one a bit shorter, but fielded well. The pencil getting up nice and high. Takes that one cleanly, but
Counter-rucked.
Great counter-ruck there. But again, just a skill execution. Just an ugly pass coming through, and Dan Gorman wraps up Seifaloy.
Great chase there by Gormo.
And Wilson once again going toe-to-toe with Campbell Magnay. But looking scrappy here. But Wall does well to get that ball out. But a bit one off there. And Maloney just straight into contact once again. Fraser McWright puts his hand up for another carry. And does well, but he's hit hard. Tom Kibble, who's making a nuisance of himself in that breakdown. But unfortunately gives that penalty away. It looked like Ruben was going to go quick there. I would have backed him in there.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him going quick, but obviously now hit the line and see what they can come up with. Again here, Tom, I think they just need to be patient. You know what I mean? Get the ball in, maybe drive it upfield, and then just back their forwards to get in and around that corner.
Yep, definitely. You know, you need something to play off here, but you know, Jeeps in particular, this is where you're going to have the most numbers in the line. So individual carries need to be really good. You know, to be getting to a shoulder, not running at two blokes and then getting manhandled. So I think, you know, obviously in this point of view, you want to make sure that you're bending the line at least. Otherwise, it's going to cause yourself some pretty slow ball.
Fesler goes deep to the back of the line out. Finds Wilson. And there's
great carry.
Great carry, but a good low chop there. Tommy Kibble bringing down his opposite number. Brothers with a great opportunity here now. The try scorer, Ryan, with the one-off carry. And they're looking tired here, our Brothers, but that's a great run there from Fesler. Back into the action there. And there's a great little inside ball. And Matty Jaquel might be on that, but Brothers do well to get that back. And Wilson with another carry in this passage of play. Brothers decide to keep it tight.
Had the field call there, Dow, pick and go.
That's it, mate. It's been the same for the last 20 years, I think.
Seifaloy goes back inside. And that is an absolute
Dan Gorman
cracker
again.
of a shot. Dan Gorman.
Big 10 minutes.
Oh, my God. He's absolutely snotted him.
He would enjoy that, Gormo, no doubt. No doubt. There's Michael Richards.
Getting into him.
But here comes a bit of cheese. Look at Gormo resting up against the goalpost. Looks like he knocked the wind out of himself with that one.
Shifted the earth off its axis.
Look at this one. See you later, Brad Kappa.
On his opposite number as well, so you always enjoy those ones, not that I would know.
Jeez, snotted him there.
But they look good.
Yeah, I'd love to see Rowan Safloy start to step up here a little bit and just kind of take the line on a little bit more.
Straighten the play up a little bit.
Yeah, straighten the play. Maybe even go himself, throw the dummy and just, you know what I mean, back himself. He's obviously distributed really well, but it's not been much at the line.
Well, we saw in that last passage of play when they got it out to Stixie, Paddy James, and he straightened the play a bit, brought it back inside. They found a bit of space, so I think they're starting to tire out this Bill Jeeps pack a little bit, but they do run with a very, very experienced bench. Do Jeeps, but they're down a man now. Toby Kibble showed a bit of cheese. Has probably been one of the Gallopers' best. But here comes some serious pressure here. Brothers scrappy in there and able to get that one out. Seifaloy gets within a couple of metres.
Bernie Nickel.
Bernard Nickel shoots out of the line there as well.
Great double effort there by Campbell Magnay. First tackle and backing up on the inside for the second.
And Ruben Wall just slips over looking to go himself. This is some good scrappy defence here from the Gallopers. And that's a cracker of a shot there, seeing just how tight this game is. Cypheloid, great line there. Great line. And it's that man, the try-scoring hooker, Matty Fessler, picking himself up a 5-pointer. And you hear Seven Nation Army going off in the background. That's the butchery firing up. With G-Money on the wheels of steel, trying to get the Brethren back into this match here.
And again, it's just it's good patient play. I mean, they get the few good pick and goes there, and they get some pay off those, and then they get to release the ball at the right time. And an excellent line here from Matty Fessler, but Rowan Saffler does well to set him up on the outside.
A great game management there by the halves, wasn't it, by Rubes and by Rowan and Saffler there.
And that's one thing I think they've done well today, Tom, is when they get down to that 22, they haven't really pushed the pass. They've been really patient with what they're trying to do and really direct in their approach, and they've got some pay, obviously scoring 3 tries.
Yep, definitely. No, it's interesting. I think, particularly this game probably hasn't brought out the best in Rubes in terms of his running game because it has been so tight. I think he's up there in terms of line breaks, one of the highest line break running players in the competition. But what he does do really well is that transition line, getting offloads and getting in behind defences. So with the game being played so much in the 22s, it is pretty hard to run those lines. So I wouldn't be surprised if, particularly in this last sort of 20 minutes, that Ruben looks to start to get out himself.
He's been quiet in this opening 60-odd minutes, Ruben Wall. He typically does have that great running game, but he's been quiet with it tonight. But we saw in that last passage of play, he tried to have a sniff, but slipped over a little bit. So
it'd arguably be the best. I think he runs the best transition lines and support lines in the competition. Hence is why he scored so many tries. Reads the game really well and a fantastic player.
And Hegarty gets us underway once again, keeps that one short, but that's fielded very well once again by the Brethren, who have gotten their restarts underway once again and starting to fire off them and playing with a bit of width nice and early. Paddy James has been busy in this match, and there's a great little offload away there. Matty Fessler with that little tip-on ball.
James getting quite tight here around the ruck.
Fraser McWright, great run there from the open side flanker.
Making the tackle.
But knock on advantage there for Brothers. Michael Hogan just saying it was in the process of making the tackle.
Making the tackle, it's a knock on. Brothers scrum. Yeah, it's come off Nine's hand when he's making the tackle.
Gareth Ryan looks like he's got a busted wing there.
Sure, a scrum will fix it.
He's on the right side. All he has to do is hold on to 130-kilo bloke. He'll be right.
Josh Fluke at school last year, Dale.
Yeah, he's still only 17. He's obviously playing some really, really good footy. Made his debut last week off the bench and showed some really, really good touches. And he's in and around that the Queensland Academy stuff. Played against Melbourne 2 weeks ago and captained the side. He's got some very, 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 very good skills out there.
So traditional 13, or can he play 12 or outside back as well? Where's he double up?
He's a traditional 13, not like throwing names, but he's more like a Conrad Smith, very intelligent between the ears, got a short kicking game, defends very, very well. His strength is probably his defence. I mean, he's not that big, but gets to the line really well and actually whacks people.
Kind of like me.
Yeah, very similar to you.
Thanks, Dale. Pay you later.
But like when you were 16, 17.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense.
Obviously, scrum here, sort of midfield. Dal, what are you thinking? Do you play field position because they've got pay last time? Both times have been down to 22 this half so far. Would you like to see him have a bit of a crack and then?
Yeah, I'd love to see kind of Ruben get out to the right-hand side here, and if they kind of bring him up and they space in behind, put the ball in behind him. If they kind of hang off, then have a bit of a crack with Lawson and those guys. I think obviously getting the ball in behind, it's slippery, it's wet. Put the bit of pressure back on Jeeps and play down that end of the field.
Definitely.
Their kicking game's been a little bit off today here at Crosby Park, but it's starting to fire up a little bit. They're getting a bit more venom in their defence, so it'll be interesting to see if they want to just hammer it downfield and back their defensive line. But there's another great scrum from the Brethren, holding out an impressive Jeeps forward pack. But there's a good shot there over the top, Bernard Nickel. And Tupou goes straight through. Great shot there, Paddy Nicholson stepping up to tackle the big man. And Mick Wright goes for the quick pick and go. But there's great counter-rucking there coming through from the Gallopers. All started with Paddy Nicholson. Does well to get in there. And Ruben Wall gives away the penalty. And is dispatched heavily by Nauamo. And that's the last thing Brothers would have wanted after such a great, strong run.
A great scramble there by Jeeps. You know, it's easy when you get into a situation where you're 3 or 4 scores ahead and you can sort of knock off, but that just shows that there's no complacency in the group, and great chase, and subsequently the penalty occurred.
I think it was Paddy Nicholson again. He made that tackle on Cliff Tupou, which was an excellent shot, but he got up on his feet and he really disrupted that ruck there and got the turnover for the boys. So excellent play by him.
Yeah, from the Quilpie meat ants. Paddy Nick.
Good man. What a good man, Paddy Nick. Wasn't your friend for a while there last year or a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, when he stepped that bloke and
he
stepped that bloke, and I wasn't fast enough to keep up. He swung around and did the old peg. So, yeah, no, we're over that now.
Yeah, that's good to hear. He's a good bloke. You can't keep him in the bad books for too long, Paddy Nick. But the Gallopers now, great opportunity here. Again, he comes down this near side. The pencil, great offload away. Freddie Burke just takes into contact. Richards, great offload back infield. Jeeps marching up the field with ease. Great interchange of hands.
Is that Mick Wright?
No, I don't think it's Mick Wright, but there's plenty of Brothers bodies in there and they've affected the turnover. Great work there from Brothers. And Lawson Crichton decides to take the option of hammering it down long, but doesn't find touch.
Good kick chase though, great numbers there and excellent defence by the boys.
There's a good shot there. Paddy James, Lawson Crichton teaming up.
Fraser Mick Wright will be on this.
And he's there, and it looks like he's got that. Does Mick Wright. Unlucky not to have gotten that one, but Tuolima were able to get that back. Hegarty puts it on the toe. But here we go now. Brothers in a great position here, looking to sing it nice and early. And Ronnie Rowson, he's been quiet all game. Finds Hine, who bounces off, does the big winger with the mo. And Wilson goes down that touch line, but is able to get that ball back inside. And there's another great shot. Some serious sting coming from both sides.
Another good carry there by Brothers, same ways on.
Cypherloin now looks to play it early.
Oh.
James gets picked up and dumped by Magnay. But Brothers still in a great position here as they work their way up over that 10-metre line. Kappa, another good strong run from the second rower. Good interchange of hands here. And Fraser McWright looks to go straight through. And he's flying Fluke. Fluke gets it back infield, and that's a ripper of a pass from the youngster. And Ruben Wall picks himself up a try right in front of the butchery, and they are going off.
There's that transition line there by Ruben Wall. It's, you know, he runs it better than anyone else in the competition.
And how is that from the youngster, Fluke? Wow,
he summed it up quite well, didn't he? You know what I mean? Obviously made the break on the right edge, but it's a risky pass that pulled it off beautifully.
Very Conrad Smith-like there, Dal, as you're saying.
It's a great run by Fraser. Obviously sets him up. Fluke with the ball in two hands out in front here. And it's an excellent execution of that pass, which isn't an easy pass. And as you
100%.
said, those transition lines from Ruben Wall.
And there's Stumpy.
16 on the field there. Shouldn't count that try, I think, nearly.
With the Canberra Raiders hat. Absolutely going off.
Great maturity there by Josh Fluke as well. Like a lot of the young blokes probably would have pinned the ears and backed themselves, but to have that awareness and guys on the field, and obviously, as we said, Ruben, with the line he runs, he's always going to be an option, and to pick him out and thread the needle, fantastic play.
Yeah, it's all well and good to be able to have that vision, but to be able to execute is absolutely massive from the youngster. And you can see why there are such big raps on the young man.
Obviously spending time with you, Dal.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But we've certainly got a ball game here.
Yeah, we do.
Seifel, we're looking to add the extras, 38 points to 27 at the moment. Could make it a 9-point ball game.
How long has Kibble got left in the bin?
He'd be coming on just after this kick is taken. was sent off in the 57th odd minute, so they should be a full contingent here, which means nailing this kick is even more important. And Saifaloi, cucumber boy, he is cool as he snots that one. And as I said, brings it into a 9-point game. So, a 2-try lead.
You'd think, Tommy, the boys are looking a bit tired out there. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Is it time for Mitch King and those kind of guys to come on the field?
Yeah, well, that's a luxury of having a fresh bench like Mitch. You know, obviously he's a great ball carrier, and obviously his experience will be essential in 13 minutes left to play, but also guys like Ollie Bartlett as well. You know, first time this week this year that Ollie's played reserve grade. He's on the field now as we speak, but you know, his work rate is second to none. And also we've got Mossy Dakiri coming on at prop, who's back from the Fijian 20s. There he is, number 17.
He's a big man, is bigger Mossy Dakiri. Nephew, I think it is, or cousin of Lotte.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I think it's cousin of Lotte Dakiri, the Dark Shark as he was known. But here come brothers, and that's a good, strong run as they march up towards that 10-metre line. Starting to play out the back. Michael Hogan says play on, despite it going only about 3 or 4 metres forward, but flat, and we'll just keep going. And brothers with a great opportunity here in that great strong line that Fraser McWright loves to run straight off the halfback, gets an extra couple of metres, and brothers now, they're coming home with a wet sail. And Lawson Crichton, great offload, gets it out to Ronnie Ralston. Saifaloi steps into halfback, and here we go, the big man finds some space as Brad Kappa.
Just getting the shoulders really well at the moment, brothers. They're not getting hit front on, you know, working to weak shoulders, and hence why they're getting good carry.
And this right here is why brothers is known as the fittest team in the competition. And that's a great little interchange of play. Hine comes back in, gets within 5 metres. And brothers can sniff some more points here. There's the short ball there. Great load shot there. Ollie Bartlett knows how to do it and does it well. Crichton steps in that first receiver role, looks to get his arms free, and he does! Try time, Lawson Crichton! And brothers have bounced back. It's a 4-point game with a kick to come.
Tell you what, does the field slope that way or something? Is there a gradient differential or something like that? Because there's a lot of points down that end, but look, brothers off that exit obviously held onto the ball, built continuity and didn't kick, which is surprising because normally when you exit, you're looking to kick and gain field position, but they're getting a lot of pay with just moving jeeps from side to side. And as I said, getting to a weak shoulder, and they're getting good carries.
You said interchange there with like Fraser McWright out the back there, but Sam Hine today I think has been exceptional and strong in his carries, being very, very good. And there's not much else on here. Like obviously a strong carry from Ryan Smith gets the boys over the advantage line, but Lawson Crichton kind of sums the situation up really well and backs himself, and you know what I mean, puts on a bit of footwork and ends up finding the line. Let's see here, ball in 2 hands. And
in between Michael Richards there and Twainer to Alima, and neither of those are slouches on defence, but again, you know, great footwork and getting to space.
And I know we kind of chatted about it at midweek, J-Ball, but what a game of footy.
Oh, mate.
Like I'm sitting here and it's just been...
This is an absolute perler. Before the game, I was so giddy. You were actually wondering what was going on with me. I just said I'm just so pumped for this match because it's turning into an instant classic.
This will definitely bring the butchery back into it.
Saifaloi looking to bring this into a 2-point game, and he does just that. 38 points placed, 36 in favour of the Gallopers. And we've got 9 minutes to go out here at Crosby Park. Buckle up because this is going to be electric stuff. It looks like the Gallopers just looking to take a bit of a breather.
Hardly mentioned his name in the second half, Bryce Hegarty. You know, hence is why brothers have controlled the game so well. I don't think Chiefs has had much ball at all.
And Hine fields that well. Brothers still looking to play with a lot of width early on. And here comes Fessler. He's got a lot of toe, does the big hooker. How's that for a shimmy? Swerves his way through. Great offload. Brothers now working their way up towards that 22. Saifaloi does the 180. Harry Wilson puts it on the toe, but it's fielded there by Matty Jiquel.
It's the most important turnover he's had today, Matty Jiquel. Jordan Lanack on at 9 as well.
The Jeeps were looking to work their way out of their own 30-odd metre line now, and Hegarty sees the overlap coming into play, and here comes Collins. Decides to drop it on the toe. Hegarty brings down Crichton in his own 22, but plenty of Brothers players getting back in support. And Wilson now looks like he's got a bit of space. And he keeps going, does the big back rower. Brothers are chewing up the metres with ease now, and they've got plenty of numbers on this far side as Crichton gets that offload away. Tupou.
Good tackle there by Tommy Kibble. The Jeeps play down in the background too. Might be Josh Collins maybe.
Yeah, looks it. Might have just taken a knock in that defensive play. So, Jeeps down a man with Brothers looking ominous. And this man has had a huge, big second half. Is Brad Kappa. Ronnie Ralston just comes back into contact. And Matty Jiquel's all over that one. And I think he's got it, and he has. The Mulaney Bushrangers all over it.
2 turnovers there for Matty Jiquel in the space of about a minute and a half. So both saved Jeeps on both occasions there.
Yeah, you're talking about the one before, but I think that one was probably more important there, Tommy.
Definitely.
Like, he's ever present, and he just never goes away, does he, Matty Jiquel? He's a fantastic player, and he's always hunting.
So the Jeeps boys are sucking him in here. Look at Twainer in the background. He's breathing through a straw.
Tommy Kibble looks like he's, fine.
Yeah, well, he's had 10 minutes off, so.
He's been a great inclusion, hasn't Twainer to Alima?
Oh, 100%. And also, not only a great player, but great bloke as well. He's a great guy to have around. He's very energetic and very positive in the group. Mitch King's just entered the field too for Jeeps.
Not a bad sub to be able to bring on with about 7 or so minutes to go.
They give the Ferrari a run.
Any reason why? He's been injured of late, hasn't he?
Yeah, Mitch suffered a really bad head knock against South when we played at home there. He has had a few headaches still lingering around, and better to be safe than sorry with concussions. So, as we said, it's, keep the Ferrari in the garage and service, and hopefully bring him out for the big events.
Is that Alex Samoa on in 23?
Yeah, Alex Samoa's new to the club this year as well. Friends with Longer. He's from strong rugby pedigree, played Samoan sevens and suffered a fractured cheekbone against Bond at the start of the second round, I should say. Hence is why he's been unavailable and came back through reserve grade today and was instrumental in that win. And it's great to see him back out there in the Premier Grade side.
Yeah, he's been good, has Alex Samoa, when he gets his opportunities. An out-and-out finisher. But we've now got 6 odd minutes to go out here at Crosby Park, and the Gallopers putting that one into the corner, and that's a ripping kick there from Hegarty. Gets that right in towards that corner post, 5 metres out.
I'm sure Michael Richards has appreciated seeing that.
I think you can bet your house on this one going in quick, and here we go. They're going to keep this one tight. Miley Naomo's at the back there, and Jeeps love this. Ryan Smith's made his way through that maul, and it looks like he might be on that if they can't get this out.
Mitchell
It
King
could be a turnover. Smith all over that one.
Mitch King.
But Mitch King does so well to get that out, but they don't have to roll here.
Advantage. Any idea what that's for?
But Jordan Lanack looks to go through, but he's pulled back there well by Maloney. Jeeps looking to slow this down. Let's make it an arm wrestle, they say. Pick and go. But there's the turnover. Mick Wright, but unfortunately that penalty advantage was in favour of the Gallopers.
Side entry.
Oh, I think that's a tough one, to be honest. Looked like Ryan Smith had come through the maul there. But referee Michael Hogan says penalty Gallopers, and they elect to go to the scrum. So it hasn't gone one way or the other all match, but we've got a new front row in. 4 Jeeps into Keary and Freddie Burke. But Brothers sticking with their tried and tested starting front row. So it'll be interesting to see if they've got any gas left in the tank.
Yeah, great experiences here for Mossy Takiri, obviously with the likes of Freddie Burke and Mitchie King at the back there, but Jeeps have got a young pack still with Tommy Kibble and Matty Jekyll on the side as well, so this will definitely be a pack of the future.
Gee, looks fit, Mossy Takiri.
Yeah, he does.
He really hard.
Yeah, I think he played a fair bit over in the 20s. He played a lot of minutes over there. He came back and had a week or two off just to recoup, and he's come back down to Jeeps and has been fantastic again at training as well. Really keen and really eager. Played reserve grade last week to get some minutes back on the legs, and subsequently he's been fresh on the bench today, which is probably where we'll see him during the final series.
138 kilo schoolboy superstar, skipper of that Marist Ashgrove side that came away with the premiership, so he's no slouch as the big man.
This won't be going too far.
But he's dipped his elbow there, but they're able to get that ball out quickly.
Great line there by Bernie Nickel to square him back up. Mitch King.
King looking and sniffing, trying to get to that wide line there.
Jeeps need to get numbers on their feet here to give us some options either side of the breakdown. We just can't bash and barge because Brothers are getting quite tight as well.
And there it is right there, that strong Brothers defence next to that ruck. And they decide to sing it early, and Hegarty loops that pass out. And it's that man, the finisher, Alex Samoa, does just that and ices that try. Takes it out to a 7-point ball game with a kick to come.
Yeah, look, Alex Samara obviously got a great rugby pedigree, held the width really well there. Obviously, when you're attacking, you get quite tight with your pick and goes. Naturally, you do come closer to the breakdown, but to hold width there and be an option for Bryce pays the reward. So, big kick here for Bryce to put it out even further. And as we've seen, Brothers have sort of had a wet sail in this second half, so there's definitely points in them. So, important this kick and then exit well for Jeeps.
Well, you can't help but think if this ends up in a draw, it'd be pretty fitting, but no one
Cricket
wants
World
to do
Cup
that.
all over again.
It's like
is there a
kissing
super
your
over?
Let's have a kick off. But I think
we'll go a scrum off.
I think what Bryce has brought today is that kind of temperament and then that relaxed nature, and he sums up the situations really well. Obviously, that kick before that he did right into that corner, as you said, Michael Rich would be really appreciative of that, but it just kind of gave them an opportunity, and every opportunity to kind of get over that line. And just then he was very patient with the ball in hand, didn't panic. Obviously had that vision to find Alex Samora out wide, and obviously they execute and they scored the try.
Yeah, definitely. He's very composed, Bryce, as he drowns one.
Nailed that, has he?
Oh,
geez, you boys might have called it early.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. So the score remains 43 points to 36. 7-point ball game with 90-odd seconds to go here. Round 17 of the Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. Wellesby Cup on the line.
What do you do here, Dow? Do you try and slow it down and just pick and go towards the sideline, or do we look to play?
I think you look to play. I think they kind of got them out on their feet a little bit here, so you've got to play some footy. That's all they're getting to play.
That's going to help.
You've got to catch the ball, but
Harry Wilson gets a hand in there, but knocked on both ways, so great opportunity here for the Gallopers.
Yeah, I think what they've done, Brothers, in the second half is, shift the ball, and they've got that pay with some really good lines and got in behind you, so
definitely
like to see them do that. So we get the ball back first.
Yeah, from Birmingham, I don't think this ball will go too far from the scrum, and I think we'll look to sort of keep it relatively tight, and Jordan Lanack off the right foot into touch.
I think you'll see a hell of a shunt coming through. This man on this near side here, Gareth Ryan, looking to get up under the youngster, Mossy Takiri.
Keep an eye on Fraser McRide if that ball comes out.
And something's happened here.
Ollie Bartlett down.
No, it looks like Miley Naamo, is it? Yeah,
Yep.
Miley Naamo.
Gee, I
Not
don't
too
know
much
that
happened in that scrum, but he's come down, clutching his knee. It looked like they were about to pack down and then pulled up at the last minute. So whether it's a bit of cramp or something, I'm not too sure, but you can see it here.
Yeah, let's hope it's cramp.
And then he's down on his knee there. You can see on his haunches, Miley Naamo.
Oh.
So whether something's gone or he's just cramping up a bit,
Magic
or it's
tape.
just smart play, just to wind it down the
Yeah,
pocket.
Yeah, we'll
I think
stick
it's
with
more
that.
smart play than anything else, boys. Let's be honest.
You never know.
Yeah, it's true.
You can have an educated guess, but.
Doesn't look like there was much in it.
Yeah, no Dan Gorman on the field, so it's great that Miley stepped up into that role.
Well, he's done well, has Miley Naomo. Only 7 seconds to go in this half. So he's definitely wound down the clock and chewed up a bit of time here. But as we said on this near side, you can expect Gareth Ryan to put in an enormous amount of pressure through on the young loose head prop here for the Gallopers and Takiri. He's gone down, but there's an almighty shunt. And Jeep's looking good here. Be interesting to see what Michael Hogan says.
Freddie Burke's not happy. He's gone over to the touch judge there and just asked for clarification on that.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Hogan says they both went down to ground at the same time. So time is now up. Smart play now, Imo. He's wound down the clock brilliantly. So now it's the last play. Can the Gallopers get this ball in and get it out and come away with the Wellesby Cup?
Brothers still get a point out of this, so I don't know if that's cross Jeep's mind if they want to have a crack and try and prevent them getting a losing bonus point for the minor premiership. But I think the win's probably more important in this instance.
There's that penalty advantage. Richards gets that ball out and does everything in his power to hammer that into touch and does just that. The Gallopers, twice this season, have knocked off the ladder-leading Brothers, and they've done so this time around here on the road at Crosby Park. Jeeps, 43 points to 36 over Brothers, come away with the Wellesby Cup. Well, lads, we've seen an absolutely massive game of footy, but Dal, I've got to ask you, do you think it was just, once again, Brothers just letting that lead get too far ahead of them?
Yeah, I think so, but to Jeeps' credit, I think that first half, they dominated that first half and gave themselves every opportunity to win the game. Brothers have to have that ability to come out, especially moving into finals, to start a little better and come up against sides like that and just waver a little bit and move forward through that game.
And Tommy, that's a massive win for the Gallopers.
Yeah, look, obviously he came over here with the intention of winning, giving us a shot at the minor premiership with a bit of silverware on line, which is always pleasing. I think we'll take a lot out of that first half, but I think we'll be quite disappointed with that second half, particularly with the amount of points that we leaked and the amount of footy that was played within the Jeeps half. So by no means a finished product, but however, great result, and I think it's going to be a hell of a game in 2 weeks' time at Ballymore.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. We're going to be seeing these two teams squaring off again in 2 weeks' time at Ballymore, and then potentially again for the rest of the season. So you never know. Jeeps could potentially go through this season with 3 or 4 wins against a Brothers outfit that are absolutely red hot.
If you aim for 4, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm sure Dow doesn't necessarily feel that way, but we've seen an absolute perler of a match out here at Crosby Park. We'll have a quick look around at the other fixtures as we saw them at half-time. It'll be good to be able to see all the fixtures actually played out, all the results and where we're at, and have a quick discussion as to the remaining round of the season, because next weekend we've got our last round and we've got some big fixtures coming up. But we could see there at the top right, Sunnybank, we knew they were out for the rest of the season. We thought they were going to cause a few headaches, but the Tigers, they've probably locked themselves up a top 4 spot with that win.
Yeah, look, I think they've done everything that they can. Obviously, next week's going to be quite significant as well, because there's West, Bond, Uni and East all vying for 2 positions there. And East have got a tough ask against Brothers next week, so by no means are they the finished product, but they've done everything in their power to give them a shot for the final 4.
And then that one on the bottom left there, we thought Norths as well have looked really good this past month, so you would have thought they'd knock off a few sides. Unfortunately, couldn't come away with the butter confection today against Bond, but Bond mathematically still have a chance of finals, so it's congested again now.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, North's been playing some good footy in those last couple of games, but Bond with that back line, I think, a real shot at making the top 4.
I mean, if they had Corbin Keenan, you'd have to back themselves into being absolutely red hot, but who knows. But then on the bottom right there as well, you've got 2 sides. South have been really hot and cold in the back end of this season. The Doggies had that 5 weeks where they lost so many matches just at the death as well. But they're looking pretty good, and they've probably done everything they can to be able to be there come finals time. But they've got the bye next weekend, so who knows what's going to happen next weekend. But We'll have a look forward to next weekend's fixtures, and we'll just give our thoughts on those as well, because as we said, we've got some massive matchups lined up. But we can see here as well just how massive the crowd was. It was an absolute pearler of a game out here at Crosby Park, as we see that graphic coming up on the screen there. Look, Bond versus Sunnybank. You'd think Bond should be able to get up over the Dragons down at the Canal.
Oh, definitely. No, I think they've got everything to play for. They need a 5-point bonus point win to make the final, so they're going to be throwing the kitchen sink at the bank.
And then South versus North. Look, South, you'd have to think have probably got an easy outing out against North, but as we said, North can knock anyone off on their day, and I mean, Stefan Ibalu last weekend got a hat-trick, so they're no slouches.
You want to go North. I think North might just, last game of the year, I think they might just get up for it and knock South off.
Well, South, as we said, have been hot and cold, but these are the two big ones right here. You've got two sides that have already locked up first and second. They'll be looking to lock up that minor premiership. And you've got two sides who are looking to stay in that top four. Down the bottom, East First Brothers at Tigerland. Brothers could potentially be going for 3 losses in a row. The Tigers, they're looking to make sure they're there come finals time.
Yeah, obviously got East. I've got a lot to play for, but I think the class of Brothers will end up getting a win over there.
How one-eyed of you, Dow. Shameless. But then on the other side of the coin, we've got Jeeps versus Uni. Look, about 6 weeks or so ago, I wrote off Uni and said they're not playing
6
finals
weeks?
footy. About
Was it earlier?
It was probably earlier. But they showed absolutely nothing to show
Fair
that
enough.
they should be there come finals time. But guys like SJ Tamala, Pat Fapulii, they've been absolutely massive. Alex Horan's starting to find his feet again. TJ Siakasini. Jos Van Eden's in career best form. So they've shut me up and they're playing bloody good footy. And I wouldn't be surprised if they can head out to Yoku Road and at least give Jeeps a hell of a nudge, Tommy.
Yeah, look, they're sort of a thorn in our side over the last couple of years. We won at UQ for the first time in however knows long. Look, it's going to be a tough game, and they know that they need to get a result or a point out of it at least, so they'll be throwing the kitchen sink at Jeeps. But you'd like to think Jeeps building into the finals after a performance like today where the first half was particularly impressive is that they're able to build on that and have that consistency come week 1 of the finals.
Yeah, two sides that typically play two very different brands of footy, but this year Uni have really stepped up in their forward pack with that front row, really starting to hum. So they're pretty bloody good this year, and they're making me eat my words. But that's the fixture here today. Round 17 of the Newstead Brewing Hospital Challenge Cup. Brothers going down to Jeeps. Tommy, Dow, thanks for joining us.
J-Ball, thank you very much.
It was an absolute pleasure to have you boys here. My name's Jay Bohr Staunton. Tune in next week.